And good morning, or whatever time you're watching this. This is Strong Hips, Back, and Core, our HATHA class. And today we're going to focus on binding. Binding. I love to teach binding because binding is a way for us to be using our own movements, our own natural movements, to be bringing energy to the body and to have a sort of feeling of being cleansed, of really wringing out those muscles and bones. So we're going to need a couple of blocks. We're going to need a strap, and we're going to need a blanket. I don't know what we're going to be using. We'll see how it goes, but you'll have those things nearby. And it looks like everybody's here. So let's get started. First, we're going to take our phones and we're going to turn them off. If you have your water, take a big old drink of your water. And we're going to come to Sukhasana, easy crisscross applesauce pose, Sukhasana. Sitting up nice and tall, let's bring our mind's attention to the roof of our mouth, all the way down through the neck, all the way down through the spine, out the tailbone. So you're sitting up nice and perpendicular to the floor. Let's keep our eyes open here for a moment. So we'll remember the idea that our bones will not move unless our muscles move them. And I know that's obvious, but it's also not so obvious when we start moving without mindfulness. So let's think about that again. Here are our bones, right? My leg bones are folded, my ribs, my spine, my skull, the fingers. The bones are just sitting here in a position called Sukhasana, easy. And they will not move unless my muscles move them. So just sit really still and bring your attention to these bones. Now don't do it, but imagine, don't do this, but imagine that you're going to lift your left arm all the way to the ceiling. So don't do it, but imagine if you were to do it, what would you have to start? What would you have to do in order for that to happen? Okay, so now let's do it. Lift that right arm up, feeling what you have to establish in order for those bones to lift up, almost like a marionette, reach up, and then slowly, slowly, slowly bring that arm back down. And pause. Let's do the same thing on the left here. What would you have to do in order for you to lift those bones up on that arm? Imagine you're doing it. What do you have to establish? And then let's do it. Feel what's happening. Those muscles are lifting those bones, and those muscles are lowering them. Okay? That's my intention today, is to focus on this awareness. So let's set our intentions. Close your eyes, please, looking in. Looking into this bag of bones that you are, with your organs and your tissues. We call it the Annamaya Kosha, that physical body. And some of you said you're feeling a little headachy today. You're working through injuries today, feeling a little sinusy today. Just notice your Annamaya Kosha, your physical body. Not our breath, but just this bag of bones here. Maybe you can remove this big, tall posture and you can allow yourself to slouch, drop your head. Just studying that Anamaya Kosha, physical body, or the food body, the muscles, the tissues, the organs, the bones, the weight of the head, the disbursement of weight in your seat, your sitting position. And then pull back a curtain past the Anamaya Kosha, and let's look at that breathing body, that energetic body. You don't even have to sit up nice and tall yet if you don't want to. You could just let yourself be slouching or up, whatever feels helpful to you right now. And let's notice that energetic body. Are you holding your breath this morning? Are you feeling like there's a pause somewhere in the cycle? We call this the pranamaya kosha, the breathing body, the electrical body, the energetic body. This body, this breathing body, really helps us understand the way we're feeling because it's linked up with our nervous system. When we're anxious, when we're angry, when we're afraid, the breathing body shows that by being choppy or short, by being held. So one of the easiest ways to relax and to calm yourself down is, you guessed it, relax those breaths. So let's start to do that now. Samavriti, equal inhale, equal exhale, slow it down, lengthen it out. Always caring how we feel. And the way I like to teach that is labeling the emotion. I feel frustrated today. I feel disappointed. I feel worried. Label the feeling that you have, know where you are, and then move that energetic body. Find the area where you're feeling really locked emotionally and send that breath there. Maybe it's the disappointment of the hip bugging you. Maybe the shoulder hurts. Maybe you're heavy-hearted. Start to send that pranamaya kosha to those areas like a salve. One of my favorite teachers is T.S. Little, and he says, if you want to be enlightened, take 10,000 mindful breaths. Just mindful breaths is the path to enlightenment, he says. And then we can pull back that curtain one more time and see the manomaya kosha. This is our intellect. This is our ego. This is the way we solve problems. This is the way we seek problems. This is our mind, our thoughts, our perceptions, our past, our patterns. And most of us will live in these three bodies: this physical body, maybe our breathing body, and definitely in our head, right? The world inside our head. And the majority of us live here, maybe unattached to the physical body, not noticing, working through pain, just challenging ourselves to do it anyway without letting ourselves be mindful. So just for the next 30 seconds or so, we're going to look at this manomaya kosha, this mental chatter, this mental body. What is going on for you today? What are some common thoughts that are swirling for you today? Maybe it's a to-do list. Maybe it's a series of worries or judgments. What's on your mind? What's on your chatter today? We're turning on the part of our brain that is a witness. It's just observing these thought bubbles without getting caught by them, without getting stuck in the narratives that they want us to. And if we pull back the curtain for the fourth time, we then land into the wisdom body, the intuitive body, the instinctual body. This is the inner teacher, the wise voice that's inside all of us. Even our youngest kids. Many of us don't even spend any time here. We feel the gut instinct, we feel the wisdom, and we go back to the mental body and say, no, this is right, that's not right. And so part of the practice of yoga is to be able to lean more and more into this instinctual wisdom, wise voice body. And I'm bringing all this up today because this is an important part of our class today. Being your own teacher on the mat. So let's start to breathe here. Let's connect the heart and the navel, the gut, right? More nerve endings in our gut than throughout the whole body. Gut instinct is real. It's very real. We feel things in the gut first. Ayurveda tells us every disease starts in the gut first. So we're going to feel ourselves breathing from the heart down to the navel on the inhale. Let's do that together. And on the exhale, imagine that you're lifting from the navel back to the heart. So I like to think of these as tying the wisdom and the gut together. Inhale down to the navel, your own gut, and exhale coming back up to the heart. Let's do that 5 more times. Breathing down to your gut instinct, to your wise voice. Exhale back up to the heart on your own now. Linking your bodies together, physical body, breathing body, mental body, wisdom body. And then finally, the 5th body is the ananda, the bliss. It's the moments where we just feel peaceful, content. So they're like curtains. And the more we practice this mindfulness, the more we practice keeping all of these bodies healthy, the more peaceful and content we are in our lives. That's the yoga. All right. So for the next minute or so, you just let yourself float, setting on your own intention. My intention is to be able to move through these bodies and to really encourage you to turn on that inner voice for yourself as we explore. What is your intention? What are you doing here today? Let's take 1 minute, about 8 to 10 breaths. Keep flossing down to the navel, connecting it navel to heart, and settle in on that 1 or 2 word mantra for yourself today, please. Why are you here? Why do you walk the path of yoga? What do you need from class today? 1 minute. And when you have your intention for today, fold your hands together and let that be the promise, right? Let that mean something. Bring the thumbs to your heart. You're setting a promise for yourself. You're setting some time out for yourself, a whole hour to dive into this really healthy movements of these bodies. Okay? Take that mantra in your mind, repeat it to yourself a few times, and when you feel that you are ready, as much time as you need, you're going to bow the chin to your chest. You're going to honor that mantra. Open your eyes, see your fingertips, remember the promise, and then let the gaze come back up. Keep your hands there. So we're going to reach the fingers towards the front here. We're going to turn the fingers down. We're going to roll the palms out, bringing the backs of the knuckles together, and then we're going to bring those fingers back up and close. Okay, let's do that again. Fingers down, turn the backs of the hands together, roll up and close. Again, down and roll and up. Play with that a couple of times. We're just opening up. Now we have that mind, that manomaya kosha telling us, oh, let's see how much we could do, how fast we could do it. Oh, this is right. That's not the idea. The idea is for you to mindfully be aware of what's going on with the shoulders when you do this. What's going on with those elbows when you do this? What are you feeling as you're making this rotation? Let's take about 5 more rounds. Mindful movements. Beautiful. Let's take the arms up, fingertips reaching up, up, up. Exhale, drop that left arm down and reach, reach, reach. If you can, maybe you'll bring that elbow down. If you want to bring your block into play here, feel free to grab it and put your elbow down. Now, our palm is facing down. Let's reach forward here, palm facing down still, and reach back, palm facing down. Just do that a couple of times. Over towards the ear, to the front, and down to the hip. What's going on here? 2 more. Good. And now reach, take the hand up, palm facing forward, grab the handle in the sky and lift yourself up. And let's take it to the other side. Maybe you'll bring your block with you. And we're going to watch that palm facing down, reaching to the ear and reaching to the hip. Reaching to the ear and sliding across the horizon to the hip. Just feel that fluidity. Three. And 2. And take it up, palm facing forward. Grab the handle in the sky, pull yourself up and release. Let's take that right arm up again. Turn the palm forward here and give yourself a pat on the back. So you're putting the palm on the back. We're going to take that left arm and hold the elbow. Now feel the extension from the right elbow all the way to the right sits bone. Big opening here. Plug in your rib cage and hold. Neck is sitting up nice and tall. Head is even maybe resting in that arm. 2 more deep breaths. And if this feels tweaky on your shoulder, if your shoulder feels like it needs less, feel free to do that. Remember, this is about you honoring that wisdom, finding that balance between being careful and being overly fearful. All right, good. Reach up and arms come straight down, and we'll go to the other side. Left arm up, give yourself a pat on the back. Reach that right arm up, hold that elbow, let that chin, not the chin, let the head be resting in that nook, and you're still plugging in, drawing that imaginary line between the left hip and the left elbow, nice and open here. Breathing body has a nice calm pattern to keep you very anchored and rooted. 3 more deep breaths. Two. And beautiful, releasing it down, coming out. And now one more thing, I dream of Jeannie. You guys remember that? Bend the elbow, elbow on wrist, relax the shoulders and push. Push these arms together very firmly. We're gonna hold it for 10, really firm, 9, 8, 7. Our shoulders are in their sockets. We're not overly extending. 5, 4, 3, 2, release. Second round out of 3, same arm on top, and 10, push. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. What are your shoulder blades doing? Do you have that medium there? 3, you're not overly extending and you're not under extending. It's really nice back there. 2, 1, relax, meaning there's a neutrality between the shoulder blades and the spine, finding the best position for you without over expressing the ribs. Last round, same arm on top. 10, 9. You could turn your head if you want to, feeling the strength. 5, 4, 3, 2, and open. Other side, 3 rounds. Here we go. Fire it up. 10, 9. Easier, more challenging? What do you think? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, release, and up. I love that question, push here as I talk. What do you think, right? What do you think? It's a nice question to ask ourselves. What do I think? 4, 3, 2, release. Last round, really fire it up here, pushing both arms against each other. 10, 9, 8, 7. There's a softness in the work. 4, 3, 2, and release. Beautiful. Taking your feet to the floor here for a moment, sitting here. If this is not comfortable for you, obviously you're going to get on something. And all we're going to do is we're going to take our hands, we're going to close the shoulders and put our hands on our side bodies like this. Okay, little chicken wings. And we're going to put our elbows inside our knees. Does this feel safe to you? If it doesn't, then just play with this action. Now you're going to have a very gentle little squeezing action, noticing the shoulder, maybe taking the right ear to the shoulder here and breathe. Spread those fingers and breathe. What are you noticing here? You got about 4 more breaths. Little chicken wings. Look at your little chicken wings. And if it's uncomfortable for you, obviously you don't do it. 3 and 2 and release. Very nice. All right, let's rock and roll here. Come on over to hands and knees. So you've got these nice arms that are all fired up and ready to go here, pressing into the thumb side of the hand. Let's find our cat-cow. Inhale, looking up, and exhale, reverse. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, turning the eyes of the elbows towards each other, really firing up those arms. Look here, I'm making a little bit of a, right? Turning yourself on, curl those toes under, and Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, long spine. Long spine. So we're going to bring our attention to that wisdom body, and we're going to let ourselves be our own teacher. Where are the adjustments? Are your shoulder blades in a position where you're getting a nice long neck? Are you pressing through the thumbs of your hands? Can you release the head any more? 3 more deep breaths. 2. And gently walk it forward here in a standing forward fold. We're going to take our first bind here. Bend the knees and take your hands behind your calves. Let the head release. If you need to bend the knees here, feel free to do so. Some of you can straighten. Now, from here, you don't need to look at me. From here, you're pulling the calves up and releasing your body down, or you're going to reach in, but you're going to go behind the legs, in between the legs, and grab a hold of the shins and find Uttanasana. So you're using the straightening of the knees to bring a little binding action to the shoulders. So as you're working these legs back, you're working those shoulders down away from the ears to get more and more extension. Take 5 deep breaths. Long spine. You're using one part of the body to bring more of an opening to the other part of the body. It's a very cleansing way of practicing. One more deep breath. And release that. Taking your time, come up Ardha Uttanasana, halfway up. Fire up, find the balance between the heels and the fronts of the toes. You got a nice long spine here. Feel that lift. And exhale, forward fold. Strong, powerful arms. Inhale, reach it up, reach it up, reach it up. And exhale, bring yourself right here into Tadasana. And let's settle in for Parsva. Let's actually go to Trikonasana first. So let's find triangle. Our left hip's going to open and our right hip will stay closed. We notice what's happening here. We've got that heel to arch align. That's going to keep the knees safe. And we want to keep the knees, as we've talked about, right over that second, third toe. Checking on the shoulders here. Let's take the arms out nice and wide, just like we did at the beginning. We're going to take our left arm up to the ear and down to the hip. Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's like a big old wave. Hello out there. One more. Okay, now we're going to check and see how it feels. So we're going to take it halfway up, close the shoulder, open, close. Just feel what that feels like. And we're going to just set it on our back. Just set it there for a moment. Start to creep it up a little bit. How does that feel? What would happen if you were to bring the other arm down and come into clasped fingers? Don't grab your strap, because we don't need to do that. We just want to notice. So if you can't find those fingertips, just keep this action here. Okay, gentle, gentle, gentle. Now, when we are wanting to, we're going to start to tilt ourselves over, and this right arm might bind around for some of you and grab this left thigh. Keep this left big toe plugging in and feel what happens in the shoulder here. If this is tweaking, wisdom body, right? Gut instinct, you know what's right for you. Back off, go to an earlier level, or enjoy what you're doing. 3 deep breaths. 2. Now, what's so great about binding is we're going to come out and you're going to feel a big rush of blood. Bend that left knee, come on up, slowly unwind here and just feel the difference. That's yummy, right? Let's switch it. Close the left hip, open the right. Hello out there, left arm up and down. As you're lifting up, that shoulder blade is moving with you. You're just juicing it up. It comes out as you go up, and it goes down and in as you go down. 2 more. Big hello. Hello. And we're going to challenge ourselves here. Both arms wide. Close that left arm. Open. How does it feel to do that? Challenge yourself to just put the knuckles on the back. See how that feels. Start to walk those fingers up. How does that feel? How does it feel to drop the elbow? Drop that left elbow. Can you grab a hold of those fingers? The side is tighter for most of us. If you can't grab the fingers easily, then just return to this idea. Deep breaths. We're using yoga. We're using it to really cleanse out this Anamaya Kosha. We're opening up our Pranamaya Kosha, our breath body, by moving this energy. We're quieting that Manomaya Kosha, that mental chatter, that judgment, and we're leaning into that wisdom. And then eventually, hopefully, to bliss. So some of you can walk that hand around and grab a hold of that thigh, if that feels nice. If it doesn't, go to the earlier level. And here we go again, finding Trikonasana, triangle pose. Don't be aggressive, right? Ahimsa, non-aggression, never bullying yourself, never forcing yourself, finding that balance between careful and fearful. Where can you step in a little bit deeper without injuring yourself? Overly cautious or underly cautious? We're looking for that middle. 3 more deep breaths. Yummy. Bending that right knee. Come on up. Unfold that arm and feel that big boost of yumminess. And pause. Deep, deep breaths. All right, side angle. Open that right leg or left leg again and finding now that the knee is over the kneecap. I'm sorry. Hopefully that's true. The knee is over the ankle. If you need blocks here, feel free to grab them. We're starting to work a little bit deeper, and there might be a level that's not good for you today on one side or the other. So challenge yourself to stay with us, but honoring your own inner teacher, okay? Same thing. We're going to take those arms out nice and wide here. We've got that left leg bending, really dropping here at the top of that thigh, trying to feel like our feet are pulling together and we're taking the roof of our mouth to the ceiling. Let's start to close that right shoulder and open and right and open and close and open. And some of us will bind. Okay. And this round, we're going to come into half prayer. So we're going to turn the palm. Instead of being knuckles to the back, we're going to turn and be with our palm almost like it's in this pose behind us. This pose, but behind us. Okay? Start to really lean over, reaching that left elbow down. Keep that half prayer hand on your back, and maybe you'll start to feel that extension. Long, healthy spine. Deep, deep bows. Two more deep breaths. And gently push it up. Put the knuckles on your back, close that shoulder, and then release it, and we'll pause. How's this feeling? Reach the fingertips to the floor and keep reaching the crown of your head up. Notice I didn't say chin up. We're not taking the chin up. We're taking the very tip top of the head up as we're reaching those hands down really, really dynamically. Let's switch sides now. Turn the right hip out, finding Parshvakonasana, really dropping that elbow, that knee down, that thigh bone down. And the same thing here, we're going to find half prayer. Arms open nice and wide. Close the left shoulder. Instead of the knuckles on the back, we're going to look for the prayer hand. And if that's not accessible to you, of course, then you go to the earlier level. Wisdom, using your own wisdom here. Taking your time, bring that right elbow to the thigh and lean away from that foot, noticing from your earlobe to your shoulder, to your elbow, to your wrist. How are you feeling here? Keep dragging the body long. As we start to move into these more subtle and sometimes dynamic practices, our manomaya kosha, that mental chatter, really beats us up, really tells us how bad we are or how we should have done something different, or, listen to that. What do you think? Push that stuff away and come back to this nurturing practice that this is. One more deep breath. Good. Slowly come on back up. Unwind that safely and bring the hands again, pushing to the floor, reaching the crown of the head up. Feel that dynamic movement. You're really trying to touch your toes. See if you can touch your toes. Reach the crown of the head up, the very, very tip top up. Feel that opening if you wanted to tilt the head a little bit to enjoy it a little bit more. Really reaching. We're not locking the elbows though. Really long, healthy spine. Two more deep breaths. Okay, now we're going to try something where we're either going to bring our yoga mudra, we're going to interlace our fingers, or we're going to touch the palms as well, or we're going to close those shoulders and come into this reverse namaste. So you find a level that works for you. Spread those heels out a little bit wider than the toes, and from those thigh bones, we're going to tip ourselves over and see if we can get some length in our neck. You could even nod your head, yes. Yes, I'm going to let go of tension. Yes, I'm going to keep myself in a place that's safe. Challenging myself, turning on my fire, but not overly burning myself out. 3 more deep breaths. Check that your heels are slightly wider than the toes to protect those knees. 3 more. And 2. Soft bend, soft bend, soft bend, soft bend. Come on back up. And very slowly unscrub those arms and feel. If you want to close your eyes to feel, that's good too. Okay. How are you doing? What are you needing? From here, we're going to walk, 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 walk our feet together. And we're going to grab a 20-pound block. Whoa, this is so heavy. Oh, right? 20 pounds. We're going to take the block behind us and we're going to pretend it's super duper heavy. 20 pounds is not super duper heavy. I do realize that, but you know what I mean. All right, heels are wide. 100 pounds, 50 pounds. We're going to take it over. Try to pull that block apart, okay? Try to rip that block apart. Really feeling that extension. Open up that chest. Pull the scapula towards the spine, the shoulder blades towards the spine. Feel the length of the head lifting up. The more we encourage those shoulder blades to be fluid, the more we get in our neck. We're going to stay here for 8 breaths. When you're ready, tip yourself over. It's heavy though. So let the block sit down on your bottom and then using your strength, lift it up. Oh, it's heavy. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. Lift it up, taking it all the way over, feeling how heavy it is. And then once it gets over that arc, it's so heavy that it's pulling you more. 8 deep breaths. Your mind, your Mana Kosha is calculating the difference between the left and the right shoulders. You got one more tight than the other, notice it. You need to make adjustments, notice it. Maybe nod your head, letting more and more tension be released. 3 more deep breaths. Very, very nice. When you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly come on back up and release. Toss it away. Okay, back into our hips. We're going to be moving into bound Parsvakonasana, maybe into bird of paradise. Okay, so let's play with that. Strong hips here. Taking your left leg out. This is going to depend upon your level. Pause. If you want to use the strap, I will demonstrate the strap for you because you've got your wisdom body really active. You know not to push. Okay, so here we are. Left knee is bending right over the ankle. We're dropping here. We've got this pelvis level. We're squeezing. We're taking these points of our pelvis and we're pulling together and we're lifting up. So we really have a lot of integrity in our lower body. Same thing here. We're going to take our arms out nice and wide. If you know your binding is not happening today, then maybe you'll have a strap in your right hand. Okay? We're going to push down that right foot and we're going to lean forward. We're going to bring our left elbow down and we're going to close that shoulder, close that right shoulder. And again, bring the knuckles to the back, or some of you can reach and grab that thigh with those hands. Or you're going to let the strap dangle between your legs. See the strap? That's all my dangle. You can take your left arm, reach internal rotation, and grab a hold of that strap. Now look at how my body is moving forward. I want to take my ear over towards my knee. So instead of being forward, I can open the strap a little bit and lean towards my knee. Okay? Pull the strap apart. I've got an internal rotation with my left arm and an internal rotation with my right arm. If you don't want to use the strap and you feel like you can go further, reach back, grab your fingers, lean your ear over that shoulder, over that knee. And some of you can start to walk that right foot in and play with lifting up. Bird of paradise. We're here playing for a minute. So you have a whole minute to just play. Sometimes balance is easy. And sometimes it's very challenging. What I love about it is you're using the weight of the leg to give you more and more release. If you fall out, come back in. It's so fun to play. And when you're ready, come back out and do some sort of wash away. Wash it away. Let those arms be like pasta noodles. Pause. Physical body. Pull back the curtain. Breathing body. Calm it down. What do you think? What's happening in your mental body? What are you chattering about? Is it helpful? Pull back the curtain into that gut, into that wisdom. Remind yourself of that intention you set at the beginning. And let's switch sides, okay? Fire up that right thigh. Really get that right hip moving. Knee is over the ankle. You're really spreading. You're pressing those feet together, lifting up, feeling that intention of squeezing the side bodies together as the roof of your mouth is up. Deciding what you need here. Maybe you'll take the strap in your left arm and you'll reach those arms open nice and wide. Very safely, we're going to close that left shoulder and put the knuckles on the back if that's where you are. Or you can have that little tail waving. Lean into side angle. Ear is right over that knee here. If you want, close that right shoulder. Grab a hold of that strap. Pull the strap apart. You're pulling the strap apart. You're getting a bind here. Notice it's not under my groin. It's underneath my thigh. And I'm going to have this beautiful side angle where I'm really going to be lengthening. Using this binding energy to turn myself around safely. If you don't need the strap and you can touch that thigh. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm touching my thigh. Close that shoulder. Grab a hold of your interlaced fingers if you can, and then lean back. Put that ear right over your shoulder. We're going to spend about 1.5 minutes playing. See where your body feels tight, where your balance feels on or off. And play. Just play. Play. Notice the difference in the sides too. That leg gives nice balance to the shoulders. And when you are ready, whenever you are ready, come back to that strong, powerful Tadasana pose, mountain pose. And just feel what you feel. Smooth it out. All right, let's head to the floor here. Let's sweep the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Feel those shoulders, move them gently. Exhale from the thigh bones, tip yourself over. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, nice flat back here. Exhale, put the hands down and step back to your downward facing dog. Push up position.
and downward dog. Push-up position, plank pose, and downward dog. Push-up position. Some of you will bring your left knee down, pivot the right hip open, squeeze those thighs together, and come into a half Vashisthasana, or you could have both legs up. Stack those shoulders, armpits wide, eye of the elbow looking forward, big breath. You could take the arm up and over the ear, really feeling up through that body. 3 deep breaths. Anything you want to do here. We're putting our shoulders in alignment. 1 more. And beautiful. Back to your push-up position. And we'll switch sides. Take your opposite knee down, the right knee, pivot that open hip, and stack it up. And reach any way you want to. Very nice for the shoulders. 3 deep breaths from here. Anything you want. One more. And reach, reach, reach. And coming into hands and knees. Now, before we go anywhere else, I want to encourage you to do something. I want you to have blocks nearby in case you need them. And I want us to spread our toes. So you're going to take your big toes together without overlapping, and you're going to open your knees wide. And you're going to start to lean back, but before you do, you're going to find the area between your 4th and 5th toe. So your ring toe and your pinky toe. I don't know if it's called a ring toe, but your 4th toe, if you were to get married, you'd put it on that toe. Okay, that's the one. So I want you to press down between the 4th and 5th toe, really turning on that part of the foot. Spread, pushing all those toenails down. Keep it pushing down. Really feel it turning on as you start to sit down onto those ankles. If this isn't comfortable for you, of course, you're going to come out and then come back up. Now take your thigh and move the skin away from your knee on both sides. If you can, pull both up. You want to have a lot of space behind your knees. Find that 4th and 5th toe space. Really push it down. Really push it down as you're coming down, really feeling that extension of all 10 toenails. And if you need to come in and out and go one more time, do so. Otherwise, we're going to start to come down. So the blocks are here if you can't make it all the way to the floor. If you can, go ahead and start making your way to the floor. But the focus right now is totally turning on the tops of those feet, finding that 4th and 5th toe. Really turning on. Turn it on, turn it on. 2 more deep breaths. Don't let it up. Keep it focusing. 1 more. And very nice. We're going to come on up. So depending upon who you are, you'll decide what's best for you here. If you want to keep this Virasana leg, you can keep it and you can take a block and sit down on the block where you have a very safe Virasana leg. Okay? That 2nd or 4th and 5th toe is anchored. If this does not work for you, if your ankles are not happy here, then you're going to just turn and come into more of a Shirshasana, Janu Shirshasana. Okay? You decide. All right. From here, you're going to bend the left knee. Okay? You're going to bend the left knee. We're going to challenge ourselves for that nice binding 1 more round. Okay, so here we are. We're sitting up nice and tall. And if your leg is like this, it's like that. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take our left arm and hold our right shin. And we're going to take our Right arm behind us. We're going to hold here, or we're going to take this arm up, close the shoulder, and find this bind between the elbow and the knee, and look behind us. So why are we doing this? What's happening in the shoulder blade in this posture? Feeling the space and the balance. 2 more deep breaths. And release. We're going to go back into it in a moment, but let's check on that other leg. So we're coming back into our hands and knees. We're pressing all 10 toes down, really fired up those 4th and 5th. If it's okay for you, you'll find space behind that knee. You'll sit down and you'll bring your other leg in front. Make your way there now, holding on and twisting, or the same thing. You're taking that arm up. Nice and gentle, and you're binding. Binding means you're using one part of the body for the other part of the body to bring in that prana, to bring in that energy, and to clean out anything that's stuck. 3. Feel that conversation between the elbow and the knee. 2. Wisdom is on, and release. Okay, going a little bit further. This time we're going to take both legs forward and we're going to figure out what works best for us, okay? Let's bend both knees and we're going to tuck our right ankle underneath our left thigh. Some of us will hold here, okay? Some of us can take this leg over, right? We're crossing that left leg over. Plug in the big toe here. Really hug that knee in, but drop that sits bone. So you're plugging in the left foot, but you're also trying to drop that left sits bone so that we still have that perpendicular spine. Hold that knee into place. Reach it up with that right arm. Reach it up. Keep dropping your left sits bone, and then hug the elbow and the knee. Sit up nice and tall, nice and tall, nice and tall. Some of you can grab a hold of that left foot. Nice and level. Watch the rib cage. So the focus here is to plug in your left big toe and drop your left sits. That's really the focus. Secondary is the elbow and knee. As we stay here for another 8 breaths, we're going to swim past all those other curtains into our wisdom, into our instinctual body. So if it helps to close your eyes and notice this bag of bones and notice these muscles. Why are you doing this work? What is being benefited from this sequence here? There's a gentleness in the dynamic work. Okay. And slowly keep your legs where they are, but unwind. Now, when we start getting into hip work, this is a really great place for people to get really self-critical. It's like, I don't have open hips, and try not to do that, and find a level that feels really nurturing to you as you're working. So this is levels that not everybody is accessible to. Sometimes just because of the way we were born, our structure just doesn't fit on these poses. So the poses aren't meant for everybody, but you find the level that works for you. So if you can, you're going to bring yourself into a knee pile. Okay.
I like to have the feet flex or the ankles flex, the toes looking at the kneecap like little pigtails, but some people like to teach it with you tucking in. So you decide what's best for you. If this is not happening for you, then you're still in this pose. You might even hold on to this back of the thigh and see if you can lift that leg. That might be what you're doing while we do this other pose. Okay, or you could do just the upper body. So this is Gomukhasana. These are the cow lips. Okay, the right leg is on top, which means our left arm's going to go on top. So we're going to take our arms out wide. Give yourself a pat on the back with your, left leg's on top, right arm. I'm mirroring you. And maybe you'll close that other shoulder and you'll find it, or you will have the strap just like we did, where you're holding the strap and pulling it apart. And decide what you want. Do you want to move the strap away from your back? Do you want to move the hands closer together? What is it you need? You can also choose to hold this loop and focus on just trying to bring that bottom arm into a comfortable level. Whatever feels right for you. Those are the cow ears. Gomukhasana. Some of you who feel pretty rooted here, your sits bones feel very level, you might even tip it over.
Lean into the wisdom. Find relaxation, find stability and ease in this pose. There's no aggression, there's no craving, there's no gripping. You're finding something you can relax into, because that's where the transformation occurs. Whatever level you are on. 2 more big breaths. Okay, now very carefully unwind your shoulders. We have to move mindfully, and then watch this cool move first, and then you'll mimic. And if this isn't right for you, then don't do it. So here we are. My left leg is on top. I'm going to roll, do, yay! Look at that. If that works for you, let's do it. If not, figure out a way to do some fancy flashy thing. We're going to go to level 1. So here we are. We're going to take our right knee forward. We're going to hold on to it. We've got this nice and open spine. We're lifting up. We're going to take our right arm behind us. We're going to reach it up. We're going to bind around, and maybe some of us will be able to grab that foot. Okay. Again, the point here, some of you crossing over, is to push down that right big toe down and drop the right sits bone. So that's the work. You want to find that right side really fired up. The right big toe is pressing down and the right sits bone is pressing down. And then you're binding, you're having a conversation between the top of the tricep and that knee, feeling that position. We'll spend about 6 more breaths here. And if this is not accessible to you, you're just holding the shin. Everybody leaning into that wise voice. What happens when you wring out a dish rag? Let all that excess go, coming back to the integrity of the body, cleaning out. 2 and 1. Beautiful. Unwind from that. And then let's see about this side. Can you come into a knee pile? Is this accessible to you on this side? Is it the same as the other side? Is it different? Okay, if this is not happening for you, again, you'll interlace behind you, and maybe you'll practice core and you'll practice some leg lifts here.
Those of you who are doing the knee pile, let's see what's happening here. We've got that right thigh on top, which means our left arm's going to go on top. Give yourself a pat on the back, close that right shoulder, and go Mukhasana. And leaning forward, 8 breaths. Can you make your sides even? Can you keep your sits bones plugged into the ground even though you're leaning forward? One more deep breath. When you're ready to exhale, come on up and very gently, very tenderly, come on out, and we'll let those legs be just whatever they want to do. Just pause. Checking in on that Samavriti, that equal breathing pattern. All right, from here, we're going to take our time and we're going to roll to the mat. And we're going to make any adjustments we need to. We want to see how that back feels. So we're going to pause. Take your hands down by your sides if you want to. Palms down or up, your choice. And take 5 breaths and just notice where you are. Find the eye of your breath, where your breath starts. We know it comes into the nose, but where does it feel in the torso that the breath starts? Bring your mind's attention there. And then spread out that breath like a sun ray, shining the light into the shoulders, shining the light into the hips. We're in total stillness right now because we're letting our body tell us what it wants us to know. So we have to be quiet and just listen to what our body is communicating. 3 more breaths. Deep listening. All righty. Interlace your fingers here. Reach the knuckles to the sky. Feel the area between the shoulder blades and the spine. Bringing your feet right underneath your knees. Take yourself up to bridge pose with the knuckles reaching to the sky. Keeping the knuckles up, just drop the hips and maybe drop the arms. Let's do that 3 or 4 more times. You're just moving on your own. You're bringing attention to the area between the shoulder blades and the spine, and you're coming down and resting. On your own here, up and down. On this last one, take your arms wherever you want. You could turn the palms down and walk yourself into bridge. You could come back to that yoga mudra, interlacing your fingers underneath you. Whatever variation you want to do, you could continue reaching to the ceiling or over the head and spending about 5 more breaths here. You could be moving side to side, grinding down those shoulders. Whatever you need.
Two, and slowly coming down. Let's take our arms down by our sides, and like we were doing when we were standing, walk your shoulders in and see if you can touch your fingers to the heels. It's not important that you actually do it. It's just the dynamic energy. And then you're going to turn and look to the left. Reaching that right hand down towards the heel, stretching out anything in the neck that needs your attention. Does it feel better to turn the palm up or out? What do you need here? Dynamic. Looking at the ceiling, switch sides, reaching that left arm down, turning to the right, feeling that very deep opening here as you're reaching, stretching out the neck. Reach 3. And 2, and this next pose is not for everybody, so enter at your own risk. So we're going to turn the chin back up to the ceiling, lift your hips up, and now we're going to fold our arms, grabbing opposite elbows underneath us, and some of us will be able to bring our hips down. So it's quite a bind here. If it doesn't feel safe on the shoulders, then obviously you'll skip it. So I'm actually sitting on my arms as my hands are holding the elbows. You could walk your feet wide, lean the knees together, and just notice what the shoulder blades are doing, what the heads of the arms are doing. If you want to turn your head. You're looking to surrender. Stay here or walk your feet in, lift the hips, put the other arm on top, and come back down. Does this change anything for you? Walk the feet wide, knees together, and again, maybe turning your head side to side or finding a spot that feels good as you melt. Beautiful. Walk your feet back in, lift your hips, remove the arms from underneath you, and coming into happy baby, or anything else that you feel like you need to do in order for you to get to that final, most important pose, which is about 1 minute away, that final Shavasana. If you need a twist, big drink of water, just take another 30 seconds or so to really do whatever it is that would make you feel like you could close it up for yourself. And taking your time now to find that most important posture, that stillness. We worked really deep today, so please take the time to just restore. Let the body, let the arms be relaxed. Put yourself in any kind of relaxing pose. It feels nice, propping your legs up, arms out, arms down.
putting some imaginary heavy sandbags on the shoulder heads, whatever you feel like really puts you in a position, a nice neck roll. A lot of deep, deep work in all those different bodies. And here, hopefully, we can find a little Ananda kosha, that bliss body. So this Shavasana pose, this corpse, is that doorway to just be. No more mind chatter, no more physical movement, no more moving our breath in any kind of synced up way, no more listening. We're just being, just allowing, just surrendering and letting go. Okay, so closing your eyes, relaxing the muscles of the face, feeling heaviness on the left heel, the right heel, the left hip, left shoulder blade, right shoulder blade, the arms. Surrender. And as always, may we sit in a spirit of gratitude. Not just when things are easy, not just when they're easily accessible, but also when they're challenging, when they're not accessible to us, when they're not easy to do or easy to open to. Can we be grateful for all of these scratchier lessons too, these humbling lessons too? They show us who we are. And who are you? Who are you right now? Go see. May this be of benefit to you. Deep bows to everyone. Have a great day. Namaste.